feeling that designing architecture is somehow like making a carpet. In fact, we think that you have to look at the backside of the carpet, that is where the knots are. Image is should be for architect a way of engaging. My name is Izaskun Chinchilla. I'm an architect from Spain. My professional activity is divided in research, teaching, and designing. As an architect, I have been combining the practice and the research to look at how ecology is changing radically and in depth architectural practice. In my research, what I try to say is that before doing a building and even before considering the energetic strategy, you have to look at things like, is the equipment we're going to do redundant? Is there a building that is already existing in which we could do the same function that we are planning to do? These are more critical questions that, let's say, can reconsider the commission in depth and can reconsider the way we're practicing in depth. And from that, what I have been trying to do is looking to other additional elements that maybe are, let's say, updating the influence of ecology in contemporary days. I have been studying a lot gender issues around the city and the architectural practice, caring cities, or cities in which caring is a main activity or a main program, around the idea of the ecological revolution. I have been able to apply that research to different case studies on different areas and fields. What I'm trying to look is that obviously in every city caring activities are happening, and not only childcare. We are caring in many senses. For example, with activities like rest, or activities like eating well, or activities like practicing sports. The cities at the moment are not designed to promote these kind of activities. In fact, the cities after modernity have been configured in a way that the residential areas are connected with the working areas. This connection that is activated daily relies a lot in the private car. So the issue of caring provides a different mobility pattern for the communities that are caring and not caring. In Europe, we have statistics that are showing that very clearly. We can see that the cities are adapted much more to productive activities, than to what is called reproductive activities. What I'm trying to see is how Mediterranean compact cities has been proved to be much more suitable for these caring activities to happen. They promote pedestrian and low-impact transportation in 10 minutes, 15 minutes walk. The amount of programs that you can reach are varied, so there is a high hybridity in the city, trying to reconceptualize how we have been establishing that architecture is around functional programs and zonification, and making it more hybrid, making it more complex, and probably overlapping different ways of using the city. In fact, all the projects we are doing are very much based in the research activity. One would be a project that we did for Camden Council in London, and it was to promote children biking to school. What we did was trying to define how heritage buildings in an area of Camden Town could create a sort of a structure that children could early recognize that can provide them navigation capacities. We ask them questions like, do you know which building is this and where it is? We discover a lot of things, like children are not having any sort of memory at all about the shape, material or color of the buildings. The only thing they are recognizing are the experiences they have had within the building. It was very interesting as a strong reconsideration of how materiality, space and actual structures are affecting our use of of the city, because many times, in our opinion, the best answer is intensifying and making more clever and smarter the environment we are living in. The caring activities has also applied to a camping project in a very beautiful place in Spain, in Malaga. Is the starting point of a trekking path that is almost hanging in a big cliff. It's having thousands and thousands of different species of birds. Of course, it was more about caring biodiversity and develop all the architecture around the idea of allowing birds to nest in the architecture we are doing. So all these connections are trying, let's say, to be settled in a parallel way for animals and for human beings. What we are recommending is realize how full the world is, and whenever you are starting a design process, try to discover the patterns that are in a place and try to base whatever you're going to do in the structure of those patterns. It's very important to understand what kind of irregularities as well as patterns are happening in the context. I think architect has been, from modernity, really fan of industrializing everything without any kind of critical thinking. And then you realize that in Spain, 95% of the contractors are just two people working, these small companies. We said, high industrialization is not entirely good, especially when we are not critical about how it's affecting the local context. Hacking is for us a way of contesting that, and we are taking objects, industrialized objects like IKEA, let's say, to do new structures out of them. And there is always a possible second life for things, so creativity and imagination are having a key role. This is containing also a very strong political message. Most of the architectural representations after modernity, daily objects were completely disappeared. This way of seeing things, there is a political attitude that is considering that sublime and abstract ideas are superior than daily experiences, and completely misleading all the feminine and female culture, daily activities and daily objects. And then erasing that from the architectural interest is a very strong political attitude that I will say unconsciously radically macho. We have considered as architects that what is more important than anything else in architecture is the structure and the technical elements. And then details and finishing were not very important probably for interior designers. We recommend all architects to invert, to, let's say, find hooks between his body or her body and the space and the program that we are doing. Our experience of the space is much more connected with this small element, because the entrance point for a design process is very important.